If you guys know me pretty well, I started this whole content creation spiel from photography. I mean, photography used to be my stuff, and I've been doing photography since like first year of high school, which is like 7 years ago, which is kind of crazy. I am getting super old. But today I want to talk about a camera named Fuji x100v 105, which is a APS-C camera from Fuji, and I think this camera is the most important camera that you can probably buy in 2021. Let me talk about it. Fuji x100v is a APS-C camera with a fixed lens. Fixed lens is a lens that's attached to the camera, so you cannot detach the lens, which is kind of bummer, but this lens is 23mm f2.0 lens, which is equivalent to 35mm and full frame, and I think this is a perfect focal length for street photography, portrait, and like I think you can go with landscape as well. And since this camera is from 2020, it's kind of cliche to have a video mode that you can shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second, but surprisingly you can shoot up to 1080p 120 frames per second. So if you want to do some video work, I think you can do it with this camera as well. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's still capable. The most noticeable difference compared to the previous X100F is that the X100V have a tilting screen, which is kind of nice to have it if you want to shoot a high angle or low angle. You still can kind of see the screen, and it's always a plus. And I mean, I don't really care personally for my photos, but if you have it, that's a good thing. If you don't have it, I mean, honestly, I don't care. But you shouldn't upgrade from X100F to X100V just because of the tilting screen. I mean, like, there's not so much different compared to the previous one and last year's one. And another thing, what's cool about this camera is that this camera have a optical viewfinder, which is a viewfinder that's like optical, so like, it's so hard to explain this. So you can like literally see what you're looking at without having like a electrical viewfinder. You can like literally see what you're looking at from the viewfinder. It's so hard to explain it, but it is super cool. However, the most important feature about this camera is the built-in film simulation. As you guys can see from all these photos, the film simulation on this camera is so practical, and it looks like a real film camera. I mean, one of the coolest thing about this is that you can choose what kind of film style you want to shoot in, and you can also customize your film simulation by the feature named Recipe, I think. You can like change up the color, and you can change all these settings to create your own film style. Before I start shooting with this camera, I felt like I needed lower aperture than f2. I thought the f1.8 will be the sweet spot. However, f2 is kind of enough, and you can get a really good like blur in the background. And for like a film photo, I think it feels more natural to have a higher aperture than f1.8, because if it's too blurry in the background, you can kind of tell that's like DSLR. But for film emulation type of camera, I think f2 will be a sweet spot. The reason why I'm saying this camera is the most important camera of this year is because it's not all about specs. I mean, yeah, when you think about the practicality and the specification of cameras, I mean, owning a Sony camera, owning a Canon camera will probably be better for you. But the thing is that almost every camera in these days have such a high-end spec, and you can get a very good, very high quality, very high specification camera for like $1,200, $1,400. So I mean, the clear separation that you need in these days is, I feel like it's not about specs, it's more about the practicality, it's more about the capturing the memory, because everyone who's trying to own a camera is not trying to be professional. I mean, almost no one really care about specs. And for me, this Fuji x100v is such a useful camera for just capturing your memory with your friend, with your family, with your like significant others. Like, this camera is such a good camera to just throw in your pocket, just throw in your backpack, and just take it out when you want to shoot some photos. And I think this camera is such a good camera for just a short stories for like social media and like all these Twitter, Instagram and stuff. Because when I'm shooting a photo, I always think about like the composition and like my blurry background. Am I using f1.4 for this situation, or do I have to go 17mm in this landscape architecture photo? You don't have to think about that when you're using this camera. It's a fixed lens. So the thing with this camera is just like, it's all about the moment, the situation you're in, and you. Like, that's about it. Like, you don't have to think anything else. Every photo doesn't have to be a client work. Every photo doesn't have to be like for money. Why don't we just enjoy photo and enjoy the feeling of the film photo? And I think this camera taught me a lot of the importance of capturing a moment, and I highly appreciate that. I highly appreciate this camera, I highly appreciate Fujifilm, and I highly appreciate what they did for this camera. The Fuji x100v in this video is not mine. I don't personally own a Fuji x100v, but this is my friend's and he been using for a couple months, and this is like my overall experience, and I just wanted to talk about, is this really worth it after a year of release, and is this camera is actually worth it compared to other high spec, like, you know, very Sony-like cameras. Alright broski, why do you like this camera so much?
You know, I've been using a Sony a7 III, just like piece over here, but I decided that camera was like pretty heavy, and the whole purpose of me shooting photos was just so it could be like quick snapshot of everything. So I was like, shoot, maybe this might be the perfect camera to just have with me. It's super small, compact, it has the film simulations or emulations, and it produces photos just like it would be if it was out of a film camera, so that's super cool. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love shooting with this. It's so beginner friendly. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, bro. But anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for a very short video because I've been trying to do like all these certification stuff for my resume, and I've been writing my graduate thesis and stuff, so I'm just like super hectic. My schedule is super hectic now, but the new M1 iPad Pro video is coming out. Of course, you guys are waiting for the real day in life video, and I cannot wait to shoot that as well. And I hopefully it arrives at my place when the day they release it. But anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and if you guys like to watch my other videos, I'll put 2 right here, and I'll put my most recent video right here, and I'll put my channel right here. Anyway guys, I hope you guys have a great day. My name is Peace Gates, and you guys already know. Peace out guys.